Hello everyone. So the concept is black diagram of computers. So the concept is black diagram of computer. So here the black diagram of computer which explains how the data is processed inside the computer. Now we are working with the computer. So we are giving something. Of course you understand that is input. So later on inside some process is going on, how the process is somewhat different, and finally you get the output. The final output you are getting. But computer basically is a machine. So we people, we know everything. We are responding somebody. If anybody is communicating with us, definitely we are responding. So we are responding in the sense what? So we have own knowledge. So we are giving the response to them. But the computer is not designed for a specific thing, but the computer is designed and the computer is used in all the areas. But how it is working, all the areas means, so how it is working. So beyond this, is there any reason for that, for which we try to understand the black diagram of computer. Here in the previous topic we observed the computer definition. What is the definition here? The computer is an electronic device which takes the data as input, process the given data, and finally you are getting the output. So in this screen also you are observed that, so we have three things: input, process, output. So you observe these things: input, process, output. So what is the input, what is the process, and what is the output? So what is the input? We are giving something to the computer, that is definitely it is the input. So process, then whatever you are given, so inside some process is going on. Then how means that I will explain this class. And finally you are getting the resulting in a given input. So here not only computer, let's take any example. We have these three things: input, process, output. Let's take any example. Any example, definitely we have the three things: input, process, output. So based on these three things your computer is working. So already you know that it's a computer is basically machine. But how the machine is working? Here the computer is not a single device which is made up of with the three different devices. Three different parts of the computer or three different components of the computer. To give the input we use input devices. Device means the part of the computer actually. To process the given data, again we have some components are going to process the given data, and finally you get the output. According to the output type, we use the output devices: input devices, processing unit, and output devices. These three things we have. I will give you one example. Let's take any example in a real time. So we have a concept that is input, process, output. It's a routine concept I would like to tell you. For example, you want to prepare, I want to prepare tea or coffee. So you know or don't know the thing, but we have input, process, output, definitely. So what is the, how you are going to prepare the tea? So for example, you are mixing of milk, tea powder, something, sugar. So this is called input. Boiling is the process, and finally after some time, so you are prepared tea, that is output. Likewise, if you take any example, three things is there: input, process, output. Let's take any example. Right? You are receiving some information from one candidate, your brain is going to process. Of course, in a computer also we have one brain. So how it is we'll discuss. But every example has input, process, output. For which definitely you have to know the block diagram of computer. So the block diagram of computer which explains how the data is processed inside the computer. Now let's see this block diagram. Again see, we have input unit, we have control unit, that is CPU, and we have output unit. So you may observe this input, process, output. So the computer has the three main components. One is input devices. Device means the part of the computer. So we have CPU, it is a processing unit, and we have output devices. So we have input unit or input devices are used to send the data to the computer, for which we use input unit. CPU is going to process the given data, finally you get output. So input devices. What are the examples of input devices? So keyboard, mouse, main examples. What is the CPU? Central processing unit. Again, CPU is divided into three main components. One is main memory unit, MMU, main memory unit. So we have control unit, so we have arithmetic and logical unit, and finally output unit is there, for which we use the output devices. But how the process is going on inside? Already you observe this input, process, output. How you are giving the input? Using the via input devices. See, let's observe this input devices. So we have two things you observe here. One is input, data. So input means which is ready to give. So the input which is presented in the papers, diagrammatical formats, and other formats. So this is called, anyhow, which input means which is ready to give, but data means which is already given to the computer, which is ready to type, or we are giving something to the computer, that is data. And here in output unit you may observe the two things, information and output. So information means the unprocessed data is nothing but information, the processed data nothing but output. For example, to say you are typing some text, so nothing difference as it is you are getting. Suppose I am typing welcome to computer. So no need to process. Here there is no requirement to process the data, and definitely you get the output as same. So that is called information, not output. The information will be displayed or presented in a monitor. That is the secondary thing. But output means the processed data. For example, processed data means suppose you are doing the calculations. 2 plus 3 you are given. So 5 is the output. So output is what? Not 2 plus 3. That is input only. But what is the output here? Definitely it is a 5. So the processed data is called as output. The unprocessed data is called as information. So this is a simple thing. So here input devices, output unit. Let's observe this. The CPU is the brain of the computer. Mainly it has the three components. Main component is control unit. Next, arithmetic and logical unit, and another one is main memory unit. Main memory unit, or we can also call it as storage unit or storage section. Means main memory unit is divided again into two types. One is temporary, another one is permanent. Whether it is temporary, permanent is the later concept. But what is the purpose of these three things we will observe. The control unit is the brain of the computer. Brain means our brain is going to take the decision. Here the control unit also same. But computers basically designed for calculations. To do this process we use arithmetic and logical unit. And definitely the data will be stored. The meaning itself, the definition itself has the ability to store and retrieve the data. So where you have to store the data? In the main memory unit. So anyhow, this is the CPU and this is the block diagram of computer. So one is input devices, CPU and output device. Again we observe this very clearly. You try to understand. Again you see this next diagram. So this is also a block diagram of computer. Now I'm ready to explain how exactly the data is going to process inside the computer. See, whatever you are using, you are typing something, you are getting the information or you are getting the output on the monitor. It's a normal concept. But you'll getting the within the fractions of seconds. So that is the speed of the computer. That I will explain again in the characteristics of computer. But the thing is that, so whatever you are given within the fractions of seconds, you are getting the output. But beyond, there is a huge process. But within the fractions of seconds, you will be getting the output. There is a maximum speed in the milliseconds. Sorry, not millisecond, nanoseconds. Again, you try to see, we are giving something to the computer, that is nothing but input. To give the input, we use the input device like keyboard, mouse, joystick, light pen, something. Whenever you give some input, directly the information or the data goes to control unit. Control unit is the brain of the computer. The control unit is the heart of the computer. The control unit is the main component of the computer. The control unit itself, it is the computer. Remaining things are used to process the data, but here the control unit is the main processor, main component to get the output, to generate the output, to get take the decision. Everything is done by control unit. So here, whatever the information you are given to the computer, that will be received by control unit initially. Whatever data you are given to the computer, that is received by control unit initially. Control unit is going to analyze the given information. It take the decision. If it is related to calculations, then definitely it sends to ALU. ALU means arithmetic and logical unit. First, the control unit will receive the information. So control unit will take the decision. If it is related to calculations, send the same data to ALU. Otherwise, directly send to storage unit. But even after getting the processing of the arithmetic or logical calculations, will receive the same data. Here you observe the arrow first send the information to ALU. So this is the control signals, means the information will sending to this ALU and receiving. This both the things you are observing, receiving and sending. So with the help of this arrow, you observe that this is the receiving signal and this is the and sending. So after receiving, after processing, will send the same send back to control unit. And whatever it is processed, whatever it is going to process it, whether it is processed or going to process it, and definitely sent to, that is storage unit, main memory unit. This is we can call as main memory unit. But it is divided into two parts. Main memory unit is divided into two parts. And here, whatever the information presented in the main memory unit, that is displayed on the output devices. Control unit directly send to the information output devices, but via what? First send the information to storage device, again the storage device, or sending the same thing to the output device via control unit only. Here no decision taken by other unit, only the control unit will take the decision. See, that storage unit or main memory unit is going to store only the data, but the same data, the same information is sent to your output devices. Again you may observe information output. Output means the final result. Information means unprocessed data. So here the flow of processing of the given data. So understand again once again. First you are sending the data to the computer, will received by control unit. Control unit is going to send the same information to ALU. ALU give the process, give the result of this processed data, and the same thing sent to primary unit, that is main memory unit. So whatever the presented in the main memory unit, again send it to control unit to via control unit sent to the output devices. So this is a simple process is going on inside the computer. So this is only the simple process. How the data is processed is the best example. Now again see, we have storage unit, or we can call it as main memory unit, is two parts, primary and secondary. Again, it is a huge concept. What is the primary memory? What is the secondary memory? It's not easy to explain, but it is again in the next session. Definitely, I will give the more information on the primary storages and secondary storages, and this is also very important. So again, you understand that. So the control unit is the brain of the computer. So this is all process. So you understand this. So this is a background computer. Thank you. And next session we'll go for